Good evening, everybody. How are we doing?
Evening all.
We're bringing you a really cool haircut tonight. I can't wait to see it. James has told me a little bit about it. So, yeah, really excited, mate.
Good stuff. How is everybody? Everybody's had a wonderful week back to work, hopefully, here in the UK and ready for some education. But I'm sure you're quite tired. So if you've joined us tonight and you've been at work this week in the UK, then you are my hero. It is definitely challenging starting back in the salon. My first day back in the salon today. Paul started back on Monday. I feel very charged today. I feel very energetic just by the pure nature of the fact that I've been back in the salon after such a long period of time. But how are you guys feeling? Let me know in the comment section. Paul, how's your week been?
Yeah, good, mate. Good to be back in the salon. Busy. I mean, I was live Monday night. I'm live tonight with you, finishing the salon at 8 o'clock, live at 9 tonight. And then I'll be in the salon 9 till 5 tomorrow. And I've got a live with Joyco. So I've got my Barista Artista course teaser, deep dive demo tomorrow night over on Joyco Europe's Instagram. So if you are free around 7 o'clock, join me. But we've got a few people in.
Join Paul for his teaser. I love the name of that Paul as well. And that's because of the cool shades that you've released, hey?
Yeah. So with Joyco now, we've released the AAs. We've got the new Vs. We've got some new SBs. So silver blues, violets, AAs. So ash. And
nice.
ash are normally blue, but with Joyco, they're green because we have the silver blues. And they're incredible. But we've got some guys in already. We've got Lisa.
Good stuff.
Hi, guys. We've got Karen J. Hi, everybody. Debbie Ann. Evening all. My mum is in the house, as always, giving us a wave. Lisa's giving us a smile. We've got Ryan Inglis from Sydney. So, hey, Ryan. Bring it on.
Hi, Ryan.
Alex Norton, hi. We've got Gary, and Gary is currently still in the salon, so he's going to try and jump on later. Hobus Pobus, but I know you have a different name for her. She says hello. We've got Jess.
Hippopotobus.
Hippopotobus, that's it. So, yeah, she's on. We've got Jess.
Hippopotobus.
We've got Franz Carpentier. Greetings from Belgium. I love that name, Franz Carpentier.
That is a very cool name. I wish I was called Hans de Carpentier.
Yeah, we've got
Franz even.
Ira Gonzalez
or Hans. Hans would be cool as well. I'd love to be called Hans.
Yeah. We've got my sister Kathy, as you call her. Hi guys, looking forward to this.
And all right, Kathy, did you see, Kathy, my Instagram tribute to you the other week? I called you Kathy, shared your post.
And guess what Kathy's doing tomorrow?
Go on, Kathy, giving birth.
She is.
She's having a baby. Everyone say good luck to Kathy tomorrow. I've got 3 little boys, and Kathy.
Katie. Let's call her Katie now.
Let's call her Katie. Listen, Katie. It's a wonderful experience, but you probably won't remember half of it, and your husband will be scarred for life. So that's all I can say about it.
We've got David Sabata Martinez from Spain. Hola. Debbie Haywood. Hiya. We've got Lena Fritas. Hello from Lena in Massachusetts, USA. Hello. We have Samir.
Hi, guys.
Sasa. Fiho. Are you from? Algeria.
Perfect.
Algeria.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have an international crowd with us, isn't it, Paul? We love having an international crowd with us when we're out, doing our thing and sharing some haircutting bits and pieces tonight.
Yep. We've got this evening all. Jess has said, good luck, Kathy. My mum said, good luck tomorrow, Katie. Yeah, good luck tomorrow, Katie. It'll be a breeze. Yes. It'll be absolutely fine.
It'll be a breeze, will it? Who said that?
Well, you know. M. Rodriguez, hi from Spain, loving your channel. My sister has jumped on to say thanks, Jess. Lisa said good luck, Katie. My mum is saying hello, like Jess laughing about Kathy. And Debbie Anna said good luck, Katie. And my sister's just thanking everybody. So yeah, thank you. I'll be an uncle tomorrow. So
you'll be an uncle tomorrow, mate, won't you? You'll have a little sense of responsibility about it all.
I will, yeah. But would you just be able to jump on, guys, because we're trying to stream on Life Affair YouTube channel, which is James's channel, and we're trying to put it onto Facebook. But I think privacy might be set to friends, mate, because we can normally bring the comments up.
Right, okie doke.
But just jump on your phone or whatever and see if we can change the privacy. And then we can bring the Facebook comments up. If not, keep the Facebook comments coming. But come over to YouTube, join us, and we'll bring your comments up on the side. But thanks, Lisa, my sister says, and thanks, Debbie. We have Hair Care Kuwait, excited for geometric haircuts. We've got Lee Patrick Devlin, who is one of my boys. He's saying, yes, boys. We've got Sophia Bataki. Hi, David and James. I'm Paul, but I'll be David if you want me to be David. Happy to see you guys tonight.
You can be David if she wants you to be Paul.
That's it. I might look like a Dave.
Good stuff.
But she,
from an unrecognised device, it says. So I've okayed it, Paul.
Okay. So hopefully then, did you change the privacy as well?
Do I? Yeah, hold on a minute. I think so, because it asked me to go into the settings.
Tina Gray is a stalwart in our lives. So she says, hi, guys. We have Maxine Pete NG. It's all worth it, Katie. Hello from San Francisco. It's nice showing the love. I'm just going to jump on Facebook as well, just see if I can see it on. Is it on your personal page, mate, or is it on Life of Hair?
Personal, yeah. So it says, who can see your future post public?
Oh, no, it's not on there. There's a little delay as well with my voice.
So there's no there's no comments button. Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't think it's actually gone live onto your page. Okay.
Well, we can stick with YouTube tonight, and we'll iron out these kinks as we go on. So, a lot of talking, not a lot of hair. Let's go on with some hair tonight. So, I wanted to bring a haircut that I'd kind of alluded to, but not really. And I kind of put it out there that we might do something a bit geometric, a little bit Sassoon-esque in its form today. So I'm going to do kind of a version of an inside-out bob. Effectively, what that is, it's a bob cut from the front to the back. And it's a way of cutting a bob that is not highly used anymore, but I think it's a really, really useful tool to have in the bag and be able to deliver the inside out bob. Now, one of the benefits of it is, one, you get to kind of see the length at the front very quickly. So you're kind of judging, cheekbones and jaw lines very, very quickly in the shape. But it also creates a kind of heavier, softer, more horizontal graduation. So what I'm going to do is just going to put in a simple center parting. Now, you guys that regularly watch me will know that I like to keep everything super, super simple. I don't want to overcomplicate anything. And if you're one of my Patreons, you'll have seen me cut this hairstyle very similar to this on Monday night on a afro textured mannequin head. Ta-da! And we delivered that particular haircut. This is going to be fractionally different, but in a very similar vein. So you can cut this on curly hair. You can cut this on straight hair. Tonight, we're going to go with some straighter hair because this mannequin head has got straighter hair. And what we're going to focus on quickly is like the simplicity of how easy you can do this. So we're going to section off the hair down from just behind the high point on the head. And I'll show you how to find that high point in just a second. The high point of the head is where we place our comb down and where it touches down on the head. That is the high point, okay? But we're going to go just behind the high point. And what we're going to do is we're going to split the hair at a really important point on the head, where the density is roughly half because of the ear. So it is a pivotal place on the head to split the hair, okay? Because we can now determine whatever we do in this front section, okay, we're going to have twice as much hair in the back section. I'm going to do exactly the same on the opposite side. So I won't show you this side because, well, you've just seen me do it. I will talk about the two different sides in two slightly different ways. So here's the thing, right? Would you like to see a symmetric, geometric, inside-out bob shape? Or would you like to see a classic balanced shape? So let me know in the comment section right now what you'd prefer to see. And we're very much like you guys to take some control of the end result. You know, I think it's important that you guys sitting there watching, you know, get to have some impact on the end result. So let me know, asymmetric or symmetrical. Put it in the comments section now.
They're flying in.
Classic, asymmetric, classic. Lots of classics coming in. Well, we'll go with a classic then. Okay.
We've got a question from Debbie Ann. She just wants to know, what scissors do you like to use?
Good question. I've got quite a few different pairs of scissors, and probably one of my kind of main favorites has always been Casio. Excuse me being out of the shot. I'm just picking up a couple of clips out of my tool bag. One of my main favorites has always been Casio, and it's just been a brand that I've used from very young, really. I have had Mizutani. I've had well, I've got here Passions. I'm cutting with Passions tonight for anybody that's particularly interested in what scissors I'm using. And so I just really like, and these are my all-time favorites. I've got to be a brand called Wings. And they have a very special steel, and they're not hugely expensive. You know, they're not, you know, £300 or £500 worth. They come in at around $298 if you do a bit of internet shopping, and they have something called VG10 steel, and I just love VG10 steel. The way that they feel is absolutely beautiful. So, you know, just one of those things. But I don't have a specific favorite. I'm into these at the moment, specifically for kind of dry cutting, because they have this like knuckle on them, if you can see that. Put that into focus maybe. Zoom out a little bit. There we go. Perfect. They've got this kind of knuckle on the blade, and it puts more power into the blade at the tips there, and that really helps with dry cutting. And I kind of like these, and they're offset, so they're very ergonomic feeling in the hand, and I really like that about them. But you know, I also use straight scissors. I tend to stick with and this is an interesting thing, right? This is something a lot of people don't know. So if I hold my fingers out here, let me just get the angle right so you can see daylight. If you can see daylight, put it in the comment section. Just put daylight in the comment section, right? You can see daylight in between my fingers right at that point, okay? There's no daylight at this point, and that means there's a lot more tension at that point between my tips of my fingers and my knuckle, okay? And so this is going to always create a discrepancy if I'm going to cut past this knuckle. So I only use scissors that the blades are long enough to reach to that point. I won't use anything longer, because you just tend to cut yourself anyway if you do that. Okay, hopefully that gives you a little insight and helpful. Hi Jamie from Melbourne, Thailand. Good to see you with us again. So, Paul, what have we got? Classic or asymmetric? What's the voting saying?
The vote is saying classic. We've got one that says both, and we've got a few asymmetrics. So I think classic has one. But yeah, Hobus Pobus has said very helpful, great, and Debbie Ann says great info. Thanks about the daylight in between. Your fingers, I think mine are quite tight actually. Oh no, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, some people's got no gap in there, and of course, if you've got no gap, you can cut all the way through. But people always ask me that question: what size scissors should I use? Well, I use 5.5 or 5-inch scissors because there's not a lot of room for me to cut through. Anyway,
I've just realised what I do. So when I've got my fingers like that, and there is a little gap, I use my thumb. I've just realised I hold the hair and I use my thumb to close the gap.
Well, I've never thought of that. I can close the gap too, but yeah, I've never thought of that. I've just always cut to my second knuckle. Yeah. Anyway, so let's ask a question, right? This is one for the audience. If I took this section that I've got in my hand now, right, and I elevated this section straight out from the head like so, okay, what would happen to the perimeter of my shape? So chuck it in the comments section. Now, if you're one of my Patreons, you will have seen this on Monday night. So you will be able to answer this pretty quickly, I could imagine. You'll be straight in there with the answers. Hi, Tammy. Tammy's from the US as well. No, she's not. She's from Australia.
We've got Pia.
Yeah, we've got Pia with us again. Love to have the repeat offenders with us. So what will happen if we elevate this section? What will happen to the perimeter of our shape? Whilst you guys are doing that, what I'm going to do is actually cut it like that so you guys can see the effects. So cool. Elevation on the section, what will happen? Okay, now I'm not going to cut my section elevated. I'm just simply going to show you the effect of elevating this section. Okay, so let's see. Layered is exactly right. Missed Monday, but would it be layers? Absolutely. So whenever we elevate the hair, we will create layers, right? But what we will also do is, and we might have to just drop the camera down for you guys to see this a little bit. There we go. Now, hopefully that's nice and clear. Look what's happened to the perimeter. Can you see that clearly? Yeah, there we go. Look, it goes long, short, long. We've cut a curve that mirrors what's happening underneath the ear. Can you see that clearly, Paul?
Yes, mate. Perfectly.
Mimics the hairline, says Tammy. Perfect. Exactly that, Tammy. Right, mimics the hairline. It does layer the shape as well. So our shortest layer now is about 2 inches, 1.5 inches above the perimeter. Now, if we want this down, up, down arrangement, then bingo, we've done it in a oneer. But if we don't want this down, up, down arrangement, we do not want to create any elevation. Okay, really, really important to remember that. Okay, so that's not what we're here to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the hair in my fingers very gently, and I'm going to tap above the ear. Now, I'm not going to put hardly any tension on this hair, and I'm going to cut it at like jawline level. Okay, nice and simple. You can also come in with the comb like this, scissors behind the comb, bring the comb down parallel, and cut a square line just like so. Very, very simple at this point.
Good question.
Just make sure.
Sorry, mate. A good question would be, why did you tap above the ear?
Great question, Paul. I love that question. I tapped above the ear to ensure that we release the tension that the ear creates in the outline, the perimeter of our shape. Okay, because we can get quite a jump if we don't free up that tension above the ear. So our next section, we're going to come in, we've got a clear guide here, and we're going to cut through that section. Nice and simple, easy to do, nothing difficult at this point. Now, if we want a little bit of a bevel on the edge of this particular shape, what we can do at this point is we can take our next two sections, okay, and elevate these two sections. And I'll show you this at this point, okay, so you guys can see. Straightforward thing to do. Just go through with the hair elevated, and that will create a little bit of well, and I mean a little bit of graduation in the perimeter, but it will start to help to, and you can see that now, push the hair in under the chin. Okay, so that will help the hair sit nicely without any need for us to get fancy with the old blow dry. So we're going to do exactly the same thing with this section. We're going to pull the hair straight out 45 degrees relative to the head shape. Now, if I just elevate my camera slightly so you guys can see. Okay, 45 degrees relative to the head shape, straight out from the head, and just cut a simple square line. Beautiful. Just like that. So that is the first side of our bob cut. Now, if you're going at salon speed, you can get this done in no time at all. It's a real flyer, this one. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to subdivide the hair. We're going to take one, can't see that, let me bring it back over here. Come back over here. We're going to take 1 centimeter of hair from that front section, okay, and then we're going to pop a clip in it, and we're going to brush it into the back, okay. Take this clip out. That will be our guide for our graduation. Okay. So what we're now going to do is take a diagonal line that runs parallel to the hairline, just like so. We're going to take our front clip and we're going to pop it in there. Now, I love using, you know, just no clips or just 1 clip or 2 clips. I'm not like thousands and thousands of pre-sections. I'm not into that kind of hairdressing. I think it's just too time consuming for everyday salon use. Now, if I twist my fingers slightly, which I'm not going to do when I cut the section, you can clearly see, and just let me know, Paul, if you can clearly see that there is a guide point here that we've taken from 1 centimeter from that front section. Okay, we're going to hold our fingers at 45 degrees. Okay, so I'm going to turn her around slightly. Hopefully you're going to be able to see this clearly. I'll just double check. Yeah, we can see that. So we've got a 45 degree finger angle, and we're pulling the hair straight out from the head relative to the hairline. We are going to cut a 45 degree angle in towards our nape area. Super simple to do. Just follow the shape all the way through. Beautiful. Next section, nice and simple. We're going to take a 1 centimeter section that comes in just above the previous section, and we're going to pull this hair in exactly the same way, straight out from the head shape. We're holding our fingers at 45 degrees. And we're not, when I say straight out from the head shape, that's not entirely true. So let's just kind of recap. You can see from that camera angle that the hair is being over directed onto the previous section. Okay, so the hair is at a 45 degree angle. My finger angle is at 45 degrees in the opposite direction to the hair, and I'm going to cut to my guideline that is underneath. So if you've got any questions at this point, feel free to throw them at Paul. Paul can bash them over to me and I can continue with the haircut.
I've just thrown one on the screen, mate. What does 45 degrees give us?
Good stuff. Well, 45 degrees Well, you tell me, because I can tell you. You tell me. Anybody out there that knows what 45 degrees generally does in terms of a shape, you let me know. And then I will talk about what 45 degrees does for a haircut. Mimics hairline. Is that an answer? Is that what came in, Paul?
No, that was Tammy from earlier.
Okay, lovely.
Just waiting on some more
Good stuff.
refreshing.
So in terms of my section now, okay, I've taken a section that's 1 centimeter above the previous section. All right. And I'm going to take that section now and I'm going to elevate the hair 45 degrees out from the head shape, finger angle 45 degrees, and cut a line that is traveling towards the opposite side of the head. Okay. So we're going to take our next section now, just here. And I will turn this round so you can see.
Here we go. There's a couple coming in. So Jane Preston, she said
Jane.
graduation, question mark.
Graduation. Good stuff. Next one.
We've got Lena, who says one side gets longer than the other.
Good stuff. Yes. So you're going to create graduation. So short to long. So you're both right. Graduation also creates softness. A 45-degree line, generally, whatever you do, cut or color, it's quite a soft line. It's quite a diffused line. There's no hardness to it generally. What we do to the perimeters and what we do to the outlines of the haircut afterwards will determine whether we have a hard shape or a soft shape. So it's really, really simple, this haircut. What we do is we work through taking our sections from, I've started on the right-hand side of my head, from the right-hand side all the way through to the left-hand side. And let me show you the left-hand side so you can see how far around my sections are coming. They're coming all the way across. And we will work like this until we reach the parietal ridge. Okay, so I've just pointed to the parietal ridge. Someone describe to me where the parietal ridge lives. Chuck it in the comment section now. Where does the parietal ridge live?
Everyone's being a little bit quiet tonight. Is it everyone's shouting?
Yeah, well, you know what it is, Paul, don't you? Everyone's back to work, and they've, you know, it was always going to be a quieter night because, you know, we're back to work in the UK. We've got our international contingency in the house. But yeah, it was always going to be a little bit slower this evening. I felt it in my waters. Yeah. But you know, give them a week or so, and they'll be back in the rhythm of it, and right back to it.
Yeah, P has just commented. I'm waiting. Yep, here it is. Tired. Well, no.
Tired.
Yeah, got to keep the energy up though, Pia. Let's keep going. Debbie Ann has just commented saying temples.
Temples, yeah. It runs from the temple and it goes above something on the side of your head.
So Hobus Pobus has said, I'm just ignorant about cutting, so I'm absorbing. But let us know what questions you've got about the cutting. This is why we're doing these education sessions. We're wanting to bring this to you every single Wednesday night, 9 o'clock. And this is the perfect opportunity to just ask all these questions. I know you're absorbing all the information, but anything you want to know, let's decide on what we're going to be doing with future cuts, future colors, because we're all back in the salon now. So what things are we coming up against in salon right now? I know there's a few things going on with clients coming into my salon. So Tina Gray has said the top of the head. Jane Preston has said follows forward from occipital bone. We've got Kerry, who has said widest part of the head, and then she follows up with shattered. Hobus Pobus has said the ear, question mark. Pia has also just commented.
Hobus Pobus is bang on. Pia is bang on as well. The ear, just for anybody. It sits, the parietal ridge is the bone that the widest, the curvature of the head just above the ear. It's not the widest point of the head because that's here. at this point on the head. This is where it curves just above the ears. And the reason I say that is because it's a great way of remembering it. It is the bone above the ear. And another comment that you just read out there, Paul, about it being the continuation of the occipital bone, to a greater degree, it is a continuation of the occipital bone.
Perfect.
Right then, so we've come to the parietal ridge area on the head, okay? And we've traveled all the way through to the opposite side, okay? Now, a lot of this hair is going to come off still, but we will have a V-shaped section in a moment, and you'll see it, okay? That will run like that, and we'll have this longer piece of hair. And for anybody that knows about my style of cutting graduation, I'm going to leave that until it's dry, and then I'll refine that in when it's dry. Because if in this area you've got strong growth patterns, double crowns, all that kind of jazz, then you really want to be able to control that hair in its natural, elasticity and spring. So it's always good to leave that bit of hair dry. Mate, so we're going to go back to our same routine.
Say again. Bang on. Your picture tonight is bang on.
Oh, good stuff. Thanks, mate.
So we've got a James Melbourne Thai has said, hi, James. Jamie. Hi, James. 20 degrees can create graduation.
Yes, anything above 0 can create graduation. That is exactly right. And Jamie, by the way, I have seen your message on my Instagram. I keep meaning to answer it, but I've been back in the salon today. I saw it late last night. I will get back to you when I finish this live. Okay, my friend? But I hope you're well, is my overriding sentiment. So in terms of measuring and balancing, my dad was a craftsman, builder, stonemason. And he always said to me, James, measure twice, cut once. And if you have that in your mind, when you've got your section in front of you, you'll never go too far wrong. Measure twice, cut once. Now, in terms of the head position, we've got a neutral head position here, by the way, guys, just so you can be aware. Neutral head position. You could tilt the head over, but what would happen? If we tilt the head over, what would happen?
Piers just asked for a little bit more lighting, if possible.
Yeah, you can have a bit more lighting, Pier. A little bit of a rearrangement to accommodate that little bit of extra lighting. Right then, hopefully that feels better for you, Pia. You can see that clearer.
Yeah, Pia says thanks. Hobus Pobus says your dad seemed a wonderful man.
I had a wonderful dad, Hobus Pobus. I had a wonderful dad. If my children feel as fondly about me when I'm an old man as I did about my dad and still do, I will have succeeded in life.
Yes, mate. Definitely. Tina Gray's got an answer to your question. It will be shorter this side and then or more graduation.
More graduation. Exactly. We've that.
Got, Sophia has said, I find that it is a difficult approach to start for me. I would lose myself to follow starting at the ear. So starting from the front, obviously working towards the back. Why would you do that?
Well, it just will create a different graduated shape. It's a different discipline, and it's a good one to have in the bag for your. And when you see the final result of the shape, you'll kind of see the differences between cutting a graduated bob from the back to the front and the front to the back. We're going to have quite a heavy graduation in the back. It's going to be quite full It's not going to have that high graduated 45-degree angle effect that you normally get when starting in the back and working towards the front. But let's think about it like this, right? And you can all definitely have experienced this. When we start something, when we do something for the first time, is it hard or easy? We all know the answer to that one, but
we do.
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard. Whatever we do, it's hard.
Very hard.
So this looks difficult, yes? This looks really tricky. This looks like you'd get lost and starting in the front would be challenging and all that jazz. But the reality is that if you practiced it like anything, this would become as easy to you as starting in the back. And you would be able to deliver a different type of graduated bob to your clientele. And that might just win you a few of those clients that go around telling everybody and anybody, oh, you know what? I saw this woman, she cut my hair. I saw this guy cut my hair in a way I've never seen before. Start at the front.
Yeah.
Never seen the hairdresser start in the front, you know? And my clients that I do that are, you know, are new to me, because I do things that are not necessarily very conventional. You know, they might be sitting there for 20 minutes watching me, and then they'll say, why are you doing that? And because I've got an answer, because there's a reason, you know, they're automatically like, fantastic. You know, I've never seen that. It's like channel cutting, you know, the thinning technique that I use all the time. That is one of those techniques that as soon as I start doing that on a new client, they're like, I've never seen that. You know, I'm like, really? And they're like, no, I've never seen that. No one's ever done that to my hair. You know, and all of a sudden they're intrigued into, you know, what your background is, what your skill level's like, you know, hold on a minute, you know, how's this going to help me? And of course, by creating that level of intrigue with your customer, you will be instantly more valuable to them, because they'll go away, tell their friends what a fantastic haircut they've had. And it was so different to any other haircut I've ever had. And, you know, I get that all the time. And I think it's really, really important that, you know, we bear in mind that we don't always, it might be difficult to start with, but having these different techniques in the bag to use and get different results are very, very valuable indeed.
Definitely, mate. We've had Wendy Joyco's in the house. Hello, Wendy.
Hello, Wendy.
She's also said it's so relaxing to watch this. I mean, I'm falling asleep, mate, just watching this. It's really relaxing.
ASMR haircutting.
It is, yeah, mate. But Lena's got a question, and she says, could you start from the back?
Of course. You would just create a different shape, Lena. You'd create a flatter shape, a more steeper graduation than you would with this particular haircut that we're creating now.
And to your question,
you'll see, Lena. You hang on till the end, Lena, please. Do me a massive favor. Stay till the end, and you'll see the difference in the shapes that, you know, will create using different finger angles and starting from a different point.
Yeah. It's going to be a great result, mate. I can't wait to see it. Tina Gray says difficult as hell to when we try something new, and it is, guys. I mean, whenever we do anything new in life, no matter what it is, it's going to be difficult to start with, and then when we get to grips with it, we get better and better. And this is what we're trying to bring to you tonight, and with all of our lives. Mazama has joined us. She says I'm a little bit late, but yeah, just thank you for being here.
Mazama, thank you for being here. Never worry about being a little bit late in our presence, Mazama.
Pippa, we've got Pippa D. She says watching wet hair being cut is mesmerizing. It is. It's just I don't know what it is. It's just really mesmerizing. Hobus Pobus. Is this a high maintenance cut that needs frequent cuts, or would it grow out well? I used to have a geometric bob. Tony and Guy teardrop.
Oh, I love that haircut. Love that haircut. But no, it's not. It will need cutting quite a bit. Any graduated haircut will need cutting fairly regularly, just by the nature of a graduated haircut. But you it will hold its shape for as long as any graduated haircut would. So don't on the maintenance stakes, it's not super high maintenance haircut, but it is like any graduated haircut. It will need cutting fairly regularly to keep it in check.
Jamie Melbourne has said, I am studying a graduation haircut at the moment.
Nice, Jamie.
So Jamie, are you a student? Are you doing what do you do in Melbourne? Is it I don't know, how many years does it take to qualify as a hairdresser? I'm interested to know. Hobus Pobus, and I had to cut it all the time to keep it shaped, the Tony and Guy teardrop.
Yeah, it's a high maintenance haircut for sure, but it's a lovely haircut. And I think like any of those kind of haircuts, if you're going to keep the shape good, then yeah, you're going to need to cut the hair regularly. In 6 weeks time, it won't look like a teardrop anymore. In 6 weeks time, this would look like a graduated bob, just not necessarily the graduated bob that we created on day one, but you would definitely still have a graduated bob. So I think it's just one of those things that you have to bear in mind, when you have your consultations with your clients. You just need to say to them, look, at the end of the day, this is a beautiful haircut, but it's reasonably high maintenance. And that's something that we need to bear in mind.
Yeah, I mean, me and you are massive on consultation, aren't we, mate?
Huge, yeah, huge. It's the most powerful tool we have in the bag. If we get the consultation right, well, everything else is easy. Because, we haven't overpromised and underachieved and created expectations beyond reality. We have delivered something that is totally achievable. And I think if you can get really good at talking to your clients about what they can have, in reality, and not get trapped in the kind of people pleasing market that we tend to be as hairdressers, and being honest and realistic. Because what we end up doing is we say, yeah, you can have an inside out bob, and you can have a haircut every 12 weeks. And they come back in 12 weeks time and their inside out bob looks like World War III. And, and they said to you, well, it didn't last 12 weeks like you said it would. Whereas if you said to them, right, yeah, you can have an inside out bob, but it's only going to last 6. Do you still want it? Well, yeah, that's fine. I'll come in 6 weeks. It's going to look great if you keep it up.
Yeah.
There you go. Bob's your uncle. You've got yourself a client that believes in what you're saying. And it's really, really super important that, when you have those open, transparent, honest consultations, you will create the trust in you so much faster than you can at any other time. Because if you say something that's even remotely off kilter, they are instantly not going to trust you in the future. So you've got to be honest. You've got to be straight to the point, brutally honest, and say, look, inside out, Bob, what a haircut. But do you want to get your haircut every 6 weeks? And if they say no, you have to say, well, look, there's 2 choices then. You either get your haircut every 6 weeks or you pick a different haircut.
Yeah.
And I'm nice about it. Of course, we can do these things nicely, but, and you, and they respect your professional opinion if you deliver it with the confidence of somebody who knows what they're talking about as well, and they'll tell, that's another time where you'll get, someone come to you and say, oh yeah, my friend, Mary Ann gets her haircut with you. She says to me that you just cut her hair. You don't even tell her what you're doing, which is quite true to a lot of my clients. They just sit down in my chair and they say, just cut my hair, James. Because they've grown a trust in what I deliver to them that is, beyond normality, I guess. You know, it's because I am straight to the point, brutally honest, and the advice that I deliver is to the point. You know, and when they go away and the advice that I've given them comes to fruition, you know, I then become their hair expert, and that's what you need from your clients. You want to be their hair expert, and there's no reason you can't be that, providing you've got that open and transparent consultation. Right then, so I'm going to switch my hairdryer on. You can see this long tail, if you will, of hair. This is all going to be connected in dry. And again, that is to allow for any crown areas that may not sit very well. If we had a cow's in the front, for instance, I might leave the front disconnected in a little triangle to connect that in dry. I've got a little bit of Paul's fringe attached to this haircut, which I kind of like, actually. It looks pretty cool like that. So I'm going to work with that in this particular style. And but we can see the general shape there. Let's turn it right around. We can see the general shape there as we've got this kind of bob shape. And the graduation that's under here is extremely heavy. You can see that shape there as I hold the hair away. We've got this graduated bob shape that is very, very weighty. It's a pure classic. So this isn't a modern contemporary haircut. This is a classic haircut that I just truly believe everybody should have in the bag. If you don't use it from one high day to a holiday, well, that doesn't matter. But if you can do it, it's a fantastic discipline to have. Right then, my friend, I'm going to get on with drying this.
Okay, mate.
In terms of drying, you know, I think it's 99.9% of the time, you know, I would opt to wrap dry a real client's hair. In the advent of a mannequin head, I'll use my trusty old round brush here to create a smooth blow dry on her. Because, you know, mannequin hair sort of does some strange things sometimes. And I want her to sit down. So I'm going to create little to no volume in this particular blow dry. I'm going to run the irons over it as well. But when you wrap dry and it creates natural elevation, you can find yourself in a lot of trouble on a mannequin head. But I would just say to your clients, look, the reality is you can just wrap dry the hair just like this in the mornings when you need to blow dry your hair, and it will really start to sort of sit into shape really beautifully. So, Paul, do you want to mute me and answer any questions that have popped up that you can throw back there? Yep. And then I'll crack on with this drying. And also, don't forget, Paul is live tomorrow night over on Joico's, is it European Instagram takeover, Paul?
Yep. Joico Europe, yep.
Joico Europe, talking about a fantastic new range of Joico colours. So maybe he could give you some sneaky peeks as to what you might get to see if you go and join him over there while I finish drying.
Perfect. Right, guys. Yeah, so get in the comment box. If you want to know what I'm going to be doing live tomorrow night on Joico Europe's Instagram, I'll give you some sneak peeks as to what my Barista Artista course is all about. And I'll answer some of these questions that you've thrown at us. So, Mozama, I always find difficult to cut graduated bob. What do you struggle with? Do you struggle with sort of the graduation angle? Do you struggle with balance? So let me know in the comments and I'll help you out. Kerry, I always lose my guide and stresses you out. Yeah, so this is one of the things. If you're taking your guides too thick, you're taking your sections too thick, or maybe your finger angle is changing slightly when you're graduating, and that's why you're losing your guide. Because say if you're taking a 45-degree angle and then you either lower it or higher it, if that's a word, then you're going to be sort of struggling to find that perfect guideline that you've put in because your angle is changing of graduation throughout the haircut. Hobus Pobus, I love the haircut so much, but now I think maybe it's old-fashioned and people might think it's the version of the Karen cut. Sadly, yeah, the Karen cut isn't the cut to have, is it? But I do a few of those similar haircuts, and on Instagram and on, I think it was on TikTok. I think I put a haircut similar to it on TikTok, and the amount of people, it sort of blew up on sort of reviews and on YouTube actually. And there were so many people in there calling it the Karen cut. And it's not the Karen cut because they're cut so much better. The Karen cut is very sort of jagged layers and really not flattering at all. So if you want to go back to the teardrop, just ask the stylist to update it slightly. Mozama, sometimes I get confused. People show the picture with styling and want that look, so it's difficult to understand what kind of cut they want. I had this conversation in salon today actually about that, when people bring in pictures, and this is what my course tomorrow is about, where people will bring pictures in and they won't really, they want that celebrity stylist, or they want that person's hair. And then when you sort of ask them, how do they maintain it? Do they blow dry? Do they straighten? Do they tong? Do they scrunch it? Do they diffuse? And it's literally not, they don't do anything. Then it's really hard to really want to give them that haircut, because you know deep down it's only going to look that good today. And then when they go away and they're wearing it as they do for 6 weeks, it's not going to be looking exactly how you did it, because you've styled it beautifully, you've finished it beautifully, and then they just want sort of like a wash and go haircut. So it is a real sort of predicament with clients. But I think with consultation, really explaining that, this is what I had with a client today in salon. I explained that if you're not going to style it or do anything with it, then that haircut isn't for you. We need to look at something a little bit more low maintenance, maybe not too many layers, maybe something that's going to weigh it down to try and keep it a bit smoother. So that's the conversations that we have with our clients. Maxine, I was always trained to start at the back, but over the years you get more creative, approach things outside the box. 100%. So that is it. I mean, we're always taught fundamentally to start at the back of the head and then work around. And I think as we get better, we get more confident. We want to get a little bit more creative, as James has got tonight. We can start literally anywhere. We can start internally and start building the shape out. And this is where we really build our client relationships, when they really start to see our creativeness coming out. And that's how we build our rapport and we build a really strong clientele. Jamie, very well. Thank you, James, mate. I hope you're very well as well. Lisa, I love this cut. Looks great. It does look great. Paul, do you have a favorite brand of scissors? I do. I'm an ambassador for Mataki scissors. And if you want a code, as James always says, I've always got a code. I haven't, but I have got a code for this. So what's 5? Head over to matakiscissors.com and you can pick them up. It even works on sale scissors as well. And they've got a massive sale on at the minute. So head over to matakiscissors.com or mataki.com. But yeah, pick up a bargain of scissors. They're great. I've got probably about, 8-9 pairs of them, and I love them. Dahlia, CBN. Okay. I don't know what that means. Just, yeah. Pop it in the comments again what it means. Maxine, I never get tired of cutting bobs, and you can add your own customizations. Yeah, and this is the thing that James is doing. You can see he's doing it now, where he's drying that overhanging veil of hair that he's going to graduate in when it's dry. And that's one of the things that I do a lot of. I'll get the fundamental shape in, and then we'll have this layer of hair that we can customize, and we can give them something a little bit different and makes the haircut different for every single client. Debbie Ann, do you like the tip? Do you like to tip the head forward when doing a bob? I don't, to be honest. I really like to work with the head natural position on pretty much everything, just so we're keeping everything square. If I have to get into a nape that's quite hard to get into, and if you'd have seen James's video that he put live, I think it was on Sunday, about he did like a voiceover of someone doing a pixie cut. And when she sort of sectioned out, and then to make it more comfortable, she just changed her finger angle. So I would really not advise changing your finger angle to make it easier to cut. I would potentially change the client's head to putting it down. Neve, what is an inside out bob? An inside out bob is exactly what you see. So we're starting at the sides, and then we're working sort of inside out to create this shape. So when we come to finishing it off with the graduation, we'll be able to explain it a little bit more so you can see it. James, how about curly hair? Do you cut the same techniques as you've shown? Yeah, so I can answer that for James as well. How about, we cut curly hair. And it's a massive thing at the minute. A lot of people who are coming on our lives are asking us to cut curly hair. And over the past weeks, we've done a lot of razor cutting. We've done a lot of texture cutting. And I'll bring James back in a minute. I've been having nightmares about that cut. About the Karen cut, is that? Yeah. But it's been made into a meme. So it's, it's something that I think people have just, I don't know, they've just made it into a meme and people are afraid to have it. Whereas I think when they're done perfect and beautifully, it's something to have. But we just had a question, mate, from Neve. What is an inside out bob, seeing as you're finishing up now?
Okay, good stuff. Great question. So inside out is effectively we're starting from our internal shape and working externally. So we started with the horizontal sections, which are our internal sections. We took our section diagonal to the perimeter, which is internal of the haircut, and we're working out to our exterior shape. We're creating it from the inside of the haircut back out, hence why we start at the front.
Perfect. I was just talking about your video from the other night, mate, because we had a question about, do we tip the head forward when doing a bob? I was saying I love to cut hair in natural position, but like your video, if you really struggle to maintain your finger angle and you are changing your finger angle to make it more approachable or comfortable, then I would move the client's head rather than move my fingers to get that finger angle. And then Hobus Pobus said, yeah, she's been having nightmares about that cut. And it was horrific. I was watching it and I was cringing.
I mean, Amal's channel, she's got some views going on, she's got some subscribers, people are enjoying the content that she's producing. And that's absolutely superb. Fair play to her. She does great stuff on older clients, I think.
Yeah.
But I felt like, for a long time, actually, I kind of wanted to film somebody that, was maybe doing a few kind of, let's call them bad habits.
Yeah.
But then I thought, well, who would I film? Who do I know that would kind of go down that road? And the only thing that I could think of was an apprentice. But I thought, well, at the moment, in the salon that I'm at, we haven't got any apprentices. And sort of, they haven't really picked up any bad habits because I haven't really let them.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been quite, with our graduate program, I'm always quite finicky about, the way they approach stuff. So I was really struggling. And then I just came across that video and I just thought, there's the end result was, of a reasonable, I don't know what it's going to be like to style herself. That's the bit that kind of got me. But, and I just thought to myself, there's quite a few, as I watched it, there's quite a few things that people get into the habit of doing really regularly. That really make life much more difficult for themselves. So yeah, that was the motivation for that video. And yeah, hopefully you guys took some tips and things away and maybe thought about your own personal mechanics of finger angle, body position, and just general kind of cleanliness of a haircut. And just applied a few of them. And if you just took one away, and you thought, oh, I hope I don't do that, or you made yourself aware of something that you saw, that would be a triumph in my eyes. So glad you've been.
Hobus Pobus has said, James, you're way too nice. The haircut was, and then the emoji is a very uncertain face.
I'm never one to sort of that if Amal's making money at doing hair and she's got customers coming back, then so be it.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It's just the things you pointed out where the finger angle did change dramatically on both sides, the over direction on one side and not the other, and then with cutting with no guide was just really sort of it was screaming.
Yes. Yeah, it was a definite moment of you know, one of those moments where I wanted to climb inside my laptop and just like talk her through it.
Yeah.
You know, I was watching it like, please let me just why isn't the technology there for me just to dive inside my computer right now and just really help her? Because she's clearly super enthusiastic. I mean, I didn't show all of that video, and I kind of pointed out, you know, the repetitive foibles, if you will, of that particular haircut. But you know, she's clearly very enthusiastic about sharing her experience and knowledge. And it was, you know, and I kind of like her videos where she's, you know, talking, you know, she's got this voluma. Did you hear the voluma?
Yeah,
I love that voluma. Oh my God, voluma. I literally want to turn that into a product or something.
A t-shirt.
A t-shirt, yeah, voluma. That is a great idea, Paul, actually. Yeah. They got no voluma at the crown, which I just thought was absolutely knockout. Yeah, so I'm never, you know, with those videos, I'm not there to berate or say that it was shocking or whatever. I'm only there to kind of point out the obvious
Critique,
and aid
as you
people.
say.
Say again, mate.
Critique, as you say.
Critique, yeah, it's critique. It's not criticism.
It.
It's never criticism. Right then, so let's have a little look at where we've got to. Straightened and blow dried. And we've got this like very funky haircut going on at the moment, which I think we could just leave it like that if we wanted to.
Well, we've actually got
cool.
Pippa. Pippa has said, I'll bring it up on screen so you can see. Oh, here we go. If you can see it, see how James has that long bit left. That's how my Auntie Joan would cut my hair on my nana's coffee table. She had the only pair of hair scissors in our family.
Good stuff. Well, I mean, look, this could be a vibe, couldn't it? This could be like you know, Aliens versus Predator.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
it is a vibe, mate. That's a photographic piece of work there.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So what we're going to do before we deal with that is we're going to come in and we're going to just refine this line. I mean, it's pretty clean. Not a huge amount of refining to do. Just tilt the head over a little bit. Just come in with the tips of my scissors. Just point off the excess length there. And I'm going to refine my perimeter at the back once I've done my sides. I'm also going to check for weight, balance, length, all those kind of things at this point in time. Make sure we're happy with symmetry. We've just picked up a tiny bit of length towards that front edge. So we'll just come in, working from the back to the front. So don't forget, guys, refining this process, and anybody that watches my videos regularly will know that this is the process that I harp on about the most. You know, the wet hair cutting phase, great, you know, lovely job, you know, make everything nice, but really stand out with your personalizing. This is the bit of every haircut where you can separate yourself from the competition, from your salon team, you know, and make yourself that standout hairdresser that everybody wants to book with. You know, whether it be long layers and personalizing and refining. And it's not just what you achieve by refining, it's what the client sees. The client sees dedication to your craft. The guy that trained me to cut hair, you see all these tiny little hairs on my mannequin head. He'd come along and he'd point at these and he'd go, good work. And it really resonates, really stuck in my head, you know, and it's obvious what he meant, that I'd put my all into that haircut. You know, and we're talking about shop floor haircuts here. We're not talking about anything creative or fancy or, you know, hours and hours and hours and hours worth of work. We're just about talking about creating beautiful haircuts on the shop floor day in, day out. Yeah. And yeah, so he used to come up to me, point to my client's neck and go, good work, which I always, you know, always resonates in my head when I'm refining a haircut.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do before we refine the outline at the back, we're going to connect in this area through here. So we're going to really simple, really quick and easy to do in the saloon. That's another one, saloon. Amal says that in a couple of other videos, saloon. Love that.
Do you want some questions?
Great. Love questions, Paul. Fire them at me, mate.
So Lisa has said, what has been the most requested cut since you reopened? If you want to go, then I'll go.
Don't. I'll give you mine. I'll give you mine. You can say yours. Don't cut much off because I really like it longer. Yeah.
A lot of mine basically either take it back to what it was, or I'm quite liking the length. What could we just trim it today? That's what it's been. Nothing major creative. I'm trying to think. No, nothing really. I've got I've only toned hair as well. Haven't done any color work yet. I've got some colors in tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that.
I did a full head of highlights today. My first day back, so I did a full head of highlights today. But I did just basically a load of trims. I did one kind of reshape, shorter. A lot of my clients have short hair. A lot of my female clients have short hair. So, but you know, they've come back after lockdown and said, "Can we just leave it a touch longer?" So I mean, fine by me. You know, I've been cutting their hair in that way, shorter style for ages. So, and I always think when you grow a client's hair that's had long hair, short hair for ages, it just means that you can give them a new short haircut when they get bored of it all.
Yeah, definitely. Kerry has asked, what would be the maintenance on your bob, James?
I mean, it would grow out like any bob would. You know, it would be 6 week, 8 week maximum grow out. You know, because you would lose the graduation in that time. But yeah, I mean, why not 6 to 8 weeks? No, you know, it would definitely have grown. The graduation would have grown out at that point, and you would need to come back and have that graduation cut back in. And in terms of repeating this haircut, it's really repeatable. You just simply follow the process exactly as we did tonight with that starting at the front. I mean, if you want a flatter shape in this back area here, then obviously you want to start in the back. You want to take 45-degree angle from the middle of the occipital bone and work your way through like that. Bob's your uncle. But, you know, if you want to retain this kind of fluid, heavy, graduated shape, then, you know, you need to start in the front. And it's very, very difficult to create this from the back to the front. And it's very, very difficult to create this shape any other way than the way it's been done.
It looks great, mate.
It's just indicative of this particular bob shape.
Yeah, it looks great. Colour looks great as well. I love it.
Colour looks nice on it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
the colour sort of worked really well with it, hasn't it? As I've cut the hair off. So that's led me really well into what I was just about to say, actually, Paul. What would you like to see Paul do to the colour? Now, remember last week when we were live, we discussed that we might do a colour theory session, didn't we, mate? And we had quite a few kind of requests for colour theory, formulation, stuff like that. So what we thought we'd do is we would throw that particular episode in between this haircut and Paul colouring this mannequin head. Now, I'll obviously ship it off to him as always, but next week, would you like us to come in and talk colour theory with you, formulation choices, all of those great things that, you know, we love to talk about? And if so, drop us in the comments section what you would love to do and talk about in that particular session. Do you want it to be formulation focused? Do you want it to be kind of color theory focused, how to create bespoke hair colors? Do you want it to be a hybrid of both of those things? Now, bear in mind, you know, we're going to keep bringing these to you. So you don't have to get everything done in one go. Okay, remember that. We are here for the long haul. So we don't have to fit everything, every little subject into one episode. We can come back and, deliver a different episode on a different day. So I'd love for you to get on the old comment section now, come in with what you would love us to do next week. And so we can organize the appropriate materials to give you a fantastic educational seminar on color theory. Now, before I move on, I just want to show you something, right? I've got a little bit of weight on this edge. I wonder if you can see that. You see that like tiny little bit of weight there? What I'm going to do with that little bit of weight is I'm going to get it with my comb. I'm going to elevate my hair up. I'm going to trap the hair between my fingers. Now you can see that little bit of weight just there. Okay. And then you might have seen this in some of my other videos, but you may not. Elevate it up. And I'm going to repeatedly scissor over comb. I'm trapping the hair and I'm elevating. And the hair will pull through my fingers, and we will end up with a much, much softer area. Now, if you need to take more, you need to take more. There's a little fraction more there for me to go at, and it's probably a good opportunity to just show you one more time. Elevate the hair up, scissor over comb, elevate, elevate, elevate. Bob's your uncle. Just like that. And that will reduce that weight in that particular point really nicely without needing to point cut. And again, a great technique, super quick to do, super easy, and a technique that I absolutely love.
Yeah, I was about to say that. You took the words out of my mouth, mate. I was just about to say it's a great technique, isn't it? And you just said it's a great technique.
Yeah, that's because we are synchronized.
That's it. We haven't got a script, guys. We're just
in synergy, folks.
Yeah.
So I'm just carving in a nice little continuation of the front hairline there. Just a nice freehand piece. Remember, refining. It is crucial. It is what separates you from your salon down the road, colleagues, wherever you work. And that just I mean, I could stare at that silhouette and that line all day, because for me, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, that for me is the epitome of, like, in my mind, that shape is like hair cutting to me. I don't know what it feels like to you, but that's how it feels to me. And when I started my training, it was that shape that I was just so unbelievably desperate to be able to recreate. That I'd seen 1,000,001 times from the Sassoon heritage. And the day that I managed to pull it off was like one of those days where it was a sort of eureka moment in my career, really.
So we've got a couple of questions I'll just throw at you while you're doing this haircut, mate. So Sophia watched the haircut of the Pixie, and she got to see her own bad habits, which is basically what the videos are all about, just to help you understand what other people are doing. And James points it out just to make people aware of it.
Yeah, exactly that, Sophia. That was my point entirely. And in fact, to hear that from you, Sophia, made that video completely worthwhile. That was the total point.
Mazama has got, she's asking, could you please give me some tips, some good tips on how to improve my short haircuts? I did ask a question while you were blow drying with Mazama, because she said about struggles with graduation. And is it sort of losing guide? Is it the angle of her fingers? Is it the angle of the graduation? What is it with short haircuts that you would like sort of the tips to be around? Because the fundamental of short haircutting is all about, like, your guidelines. Look at the video that James did on the Pixie cuts. It was just sort of like just grabbing the hair and just cutting pieces. Whereas if you're not going to stay on top of your guideline and your finger angle is going to change, that is what's fundamentally going to affect the shape of your short haircut. So if it is any of that, Mazama, I'd like to know. Christos has called it the mulleted bob, mate. When you left that bit at the long bit on the back.
Yeah, well, mullets are coming back, so we can just bring it all together, Christos. We can just bring a hybrid haircut, mullet and a bob, all in one.
Jamie Melbourne has said, James, this haircut should be in high-end salon. Maxine has said, it takes me about an hour and a half to do this kind of haircut because it's so precise, especially on stick straight hair. Is that the normal or am I slow?
Yes, that would be the norm, really. I mean, I can cut it a bit quicker than that if I'm going at full speed. But, you know, I was really lucky. I worked in a place that, you know, I had, you know, fantastic tutors that taught me how to cut these haircuts efficiently and fast. But here's the thing, Maxine, that in reality, if it takes you an hour and a half, that's okay. You know, and if you want to go faster, then grab a mannequin head and practice all your short haircuts and you will just naturally get faster. End of story. So yeah, it's all down to, you know, practice and repetition, and practice and repetition will create speed. But if an hour and a half is what it takes because of the nature of the precision, then I think that is truly acceptable. And if you're taking an hour and a half to cut a haircut like this and on a client, and because of the level of skill that's required, please do me a massive favor, Maxine, and make sure you're charging for it.
Yeah, I mean, if your clients are walking out with haircuts like that, they're not going to worry about sitting in a chair for an hour and a half. They're going to be absolutely loving every second of it, because if like the haircut's incredible.
So, you know, they're just going to be like, okay, well, it takes as long as it takes, you know, and it costs as much as it costs, you know, and that's the reality. So yeah, don't worry about time, deliver the goods. And that's the important bit.
With your question about the color for next week, the Q&A, the fundamentals of color or whatever we're going to give you guys, we've been, so Lena has said, yes, need more color, more tips on color. Lisa, I'll bring all these up on screen so we can see them. So there we go. Yes, need more tips on color. Lisa, yes, please, bit of everything. Kerry, formulation and creating colors. Pia is yes, please, bit of everything. Hobus Pobus, I would like to see neon yellow. Can that be done with a tint or only direct dye? Unfortunately, only direct dye to get a neon color. There is nothing we can do with a tint, really. We could bleach it up to a yellow and try and put more gold on it, but you're not going to get the neon. We've got Jamie. I love to learn about the color. My weakness is color. Cool. Me and James absolutely love color. It's what I do for Joico as an artist. And I know James does a lot of it for Redken, but and we're going to be bringing you a lot more on here as well. Pippa has said yes. Sophia has said color theory is superb. Karen J, I keep forgetting to bring these up on screen. Here we go. Karen J, what about tips and tricks you have gathered from experience? I mean, that could be another episode, Karen. We could do a lot of color theory, and then we could bring you an episode on the tips and tricks that we've got from, whether it be fundamentals.
All that episode, bending the rules.
Bending the rules, yeah. Pippa, bespoke hair colors. Angela, yes, great, bit of everything. Hobus Pobus, that is so sleek and beautiful. Your haircut, mate. Kerry has said that cut is on another level. Tina, that's a very nice color and style, goes very well together. Mazama has come back with finger angle question mark. So struggling with finger angles when it comes to short haircuts. And I would just, again, refer to James's video that he did last time when you were looking at how that hairdresser moved her fingers to make it a bit more comfortable. Just when you're doing a short haircut again, just be really focused on what you're actually doing with your fingers. Are you moving them for to be more comfortable, or are you being really stationary and keeping them where you want to create the final look? Would you say, mate? Absolutely, mate. Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you're struggling with your finger angles, if you're struggling to create finger angles, if you think like you're 45 degrees is a challenge, you can rock your body back a little bit, like instead of standing straight up, you can rock your body back. Always make sure what you're doing is you are in line with your cutting angle. Okay, really important to remember. But yeah, 100%. If you're struggling with finger angle, do two things. Move your body
just back a bit. It's not very good for your back. So if you've got a strong back, then go for that. But don't do that in the long term. Move your client. Say to your client, you're here for 60 minutes. I'm here for 8 hours. Please, could you tip your head over? They will go with it. I mean, you don't have to say it like that, but that's the reality. Yeah, you're there all day, every day, day in, day out, and they're going to sit there for 60 minutes and go home. Yeah. You know, if they can't tilt their head over, well, amen. But if they can, then great. So if you're struggling for finger angle and creating strong finger angles and getting your finger angle right, and here's the other kind of tip on finger angles. Okay, remember, if our finger angle is square, we create what? Put it in the comment section. If our finger angle is square, what do we create? If our finger angle is square, what do we create? So 2 square finger angles. Yeah? Like that, like that. What do we create with those finger angles? As soon as we digress from that finger angle, what do we create? Put it in the comment section. We change finger angle, what do we create? We get back to this point. It's the same as when we were up here. So we go from, hopefully you're writing it now because I'm about to say it, layers, graduation, come away from the mannequin, you might have to see a bit better, come this side. We're going to go from layers, graduation, graduation, graduation. And this is what Jamie said, 20 degrees, graduation, exactly. Then graduation, 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 45, graduation, 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 still graduating at this point. Still graduating at this point, not graduating at this point, layers. So it's very, very important that we recognize that. So if you're struggling for finger angle, Mazama, okay, and thinking about what your finger angles are creating, if your fingers are pointing towards your body and you can see that the angle is the fingers, the tips of the fingers are pointing towards you, you are cutting a steep angle. So the more that you can see your nails, it's even steeper. And the more you can see the palms of your fingers or the inside of your fingers, the more you're creating a flatter layered shape. So that's some tips to think about when you're thinking about finger angle.
And also, James, when we're working on the left and right hand side of the head, we do something very similar.
Absolutely, yeah. When we work from, are you talking about going upside down, Paul?
Yeah, replicating.
Yeah. So as we graduate, I mean, I talk about 2 things actually, and it depends how advanced you get. You know, like I think upside down is quite advanced. So when you cut your graduation in, and you're traveling to, if you're right-handed and you're traveling towards the left-hand side of the head, okay, this way, your fingers are usually pointing towards the ceiling. Quite often what we then see is people going in the opposite direction and pointing their fingers down towards the floor. Okay, so this is upside down and we're cutting up towards our hand. Now this is fine, there's nothing wrong with it, it's perfect, it works well, but I think it's a little bit more technically challenging to keep that finger angle the same, but turn your hand upside down. What I advocate is if you're struggling with your fingers, use the same finger angle and repeat both sides in exactly the same way with your body position square to the head shape. Do not move your body. Cement them to the floor. Cut a finger angle in at 45 degrees. That very first section is the most important section that you will cut on any haircut. Make sure that finger angle is perfect. Come in, cut that angle in, and make sure that you do not, and your hair is coming straight out from the head, and that you do not move. So if I was going to anchor myself into this spot, okay, it would be difficult for me to get my hand in here without moving my body slightly. So if I want to retain a very square body position, I can come in here upside down with my scissors and cut with the knuckle of my scissors facing the head instead of the knuckle of my scissors facing my body. So we can come in, snip, snip, snip. But with that, we can make sure we can really stay in line. We don't have to do that for our men. We can bring our body over here, but we need to be able to trust ourselves that we're going to pull this hair straight out from the head and not over direct it in any way, shape or form. But the upside down thing is great because it allows you to keep a solid finger angle without moving your hand. But I think if you're struggling, practice, and I've got quite a few YouTube videos about this. If you're struggling, practice with the body position square to that section. Okay,
perfect.
So I've just done a little bit of kind of natural refinement around the front. I've just created a little bit more fringe in that front area to accommodate a bit more of a side fringe from what Paul left with his side / dual bang fringe that he created. So just a sort of soft side fringe in here like so, and just to create a little bit of and here's something to think about, right? When you're looking at symmetry and geometry, if you put a side fringe into someone's hair, you're going to lose some of the hair that would live here. So always remember that what you've got, even though it may appear, and I've gone to the lengths of refining to create balance, but even though it may appear like initially, like you've cut this side of the head longer, it's because you've cut a side fringe in and you've removed some of the corner length at the front. So always bear that in mind, guys. It's really super important that you are comfortable and confident that you have got it right. And if you're not sure, what do we do before we cut? Write it in the comment section. We always measure twice and cut once. Right, I'm just going to do a very you can't see me, but I'm being quite acrobatic back here because I've got my kind of hairspray area, and it rolled down the back of a table, and I survived. That's good. Bit of hairspray on this fringe just to hold her out of the way. I've got industrial kind of hairspray here. Look at this.
Wow.
This is serious.
That's for burglars, isn't it?
You what, mate?
That's for burglars, isn't it? That kind of hairspray.
Yeah, that's right. It's for like blinding them.
Yeah.
Spraying them in their eyes.
I meant just hitting them with it, but
oh, for hitting them with it. Oh no, I mean I was going for the blinding them option, Paul. You want to conquer that? That's those Stellas you've been drinking. You want to get punchy? I'm thinking about maiming them.
All right.
I was thinking about stopping them burgling anybody else by the virtue of the fact they can't see.
But we've been asked
right
with
then.
the colour just for some grey coverage. So I'd like some particular colour in grey hair, highlights, lowlights without full colouring. And will we do some foiling techniques one day?
We can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
What we're going to do, guys, from now on is on our channels, we're going to do polls. Okay, so the format is obviously 1 week it's on my channel, the next week it's on Paul's channel, back and forth, just like that. So we're on my channel this week, as you probably already realized, pointing out the obvious. But if you're not subscribed to Paul's channel yet, then make sure you go and give him a little sub. Tick that notification bell so that when he posts that he's going to be going live, you'll get that notification. You can set a reminder. And then kind of once next week, we want to kind of get into a different rhythm because the person that's working, the compare side of this, they control all the technical stuff. You know, we do the working and he's got all the clicky bits. Yeah. So he's doing his bit. And so it's easier when we're on each other's accounts the opposite week. So next time you see us, we'll be over at Paul's account doing the color theory. And then the week after, Paul will be coloring this mannequin head back on my channel, and I'll be doing the comparing part. So make sure you're following us both so you can catch all of the episodes. And if you've got any friends and you want to share this to your friends or any, share it to Facebook, anybody that you feel like can get any value out of this, it would massively be appreciated by both Paul and I to help us grow this live. We would love more people to come and join in and learn from us on a Wednesday night. As we said, we're going to keep it up, and we'll be here every Wednesday night, come rain or shine, delivering the education that you want us to, that you dictate to us. And the way we're going to do that each week is we're going to, obviously, it will be a colour one week and a cut the following week, or maybe some theory. And we'll be running polls on our channel. On the community tab, the polls will pop up, and sometimes on the homepage as well. And in those polls will be the determining few factors of what will be done in the live that week. So do make sure, if you want to get your opinions across and you didn't get a chance to say anything in the live, or you didn't think of something specific, you can leave a comment on those polls as well. So if the options that are there are something you really want to see something else, then please make sure that you leave a comment in that poll so that we can put it into our considerations for future episodes. Right then, any questions, my mate?
Well, Christos has just said he's trying to find the how to fix a blow dryer video. Have you deleted it?
Oh no, I haven't deleted that video. You can't find it. Christos, I'll just send it to you, mate. It's still there. That have you ever seen that video, Paul?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen it, Christos. You don't there's no hairdryer fixing goes on in that video, unfortunately. It was just a silly video that I made as a bit of a practical joke. And actually Hairbrain shared it. Did you see that? Hairbrain shared that video. Yeah. It was so funny. The comments were hilarious on there. Right then, so let's just give you a little kind of recap, a finish of this particular look. And if I can get the light on the graduation, there we go. Soft, beautiful, heavy graduation, completely different to using a 45-degree finger angle. Very rounded, very beveled shape. Just elevating those two sections in that top section, creating that lovely bevel in this bottom edge. Superb, clean, strong outline in both sides here. And just like I said, I could look at that all day. I know I cut it, but I mean, it's not that. It's just the shape. It's just that silhouette. For me, when I think about haircuts, I think about that silhouette. And then just cut in a little bit more emphasis into that side fringe that Paul created for us live, and just added a little bit more je ne sais quoi into that side fringe, just to emphasize it a little bit further, because obviously Paul was moving ad hoc here when he did this, which was a great move. You guys requested it. Paul just chucked it in there, and he'd gone in for the kind of heavy full bangs with the sweepy effect, but I just cut of that particular full bangs effect. I've just cut off the corner of the sweeping that's going in the opposite direction, so I've cut that away. So now it's shorter on this side and longer on the opposite side. So that's just helping that hair fall across. And I did that by taking vertical sections and elevating out from the head shape and over directing the hair to the parting that I was going to blow dry the hair into. So I hope you've enjoyed this very classic, like when you think of like food and then you think of like French classics, this is my version of a French classic, souffle or whatever. I just feel like this is one of those haircuts that, it will stand the test of time. That 100 years from now, people will still have this haircut to some degree. And it's one of those haircuts that if you can master it in all of its forms, you will have some serious tricks up your sleeve when it comes to servicing your clients. So over to you, my mate. Anything to add?
Pia just wants to see you shake it. I think she means the hair. There we go.
She can go out in a hurricane, Pia. She could go out in a hurricane. She would look beautiful. You can shake it however you want. She could go out raving all night and she could look like $1 million in the kebab shop.
Yes, Charlie.
Okay.
Beautiful. Kerry's just asked, where's my live tomorrow? It's over on Instagram, on Joico Europe's Instagram page. I'm going to link it in my community on my page, so you'll be able to see the link, click it, and head over there. But mate, everybody's just saying, where are we? Here we go. I'm trying to bring them all up. Looks beautiful. Love this cut. Where is it? There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we
Great.
go.
Well, thank you so much, guys. Your continued support of our lives is massively appreciated. As I said, if you could share this with your friends, colleagues, to Facebook groups, to people that you don't know who you might feel could benefit from these lives, we would be massively appreciative of that. And hopefully we've got some fantastic things to share with you in not too much time from now. The future of these lives has been hopefully brought to life for a very long period of time. And I'm so excited to hopefully bring you some superb news in the coming weeks in that direction. But nevertheless, we're always here, Paul and I, week in, week out, day in, day out, bringing you hopefully education that is helping you grow as an individual hairstylist, helping you earn more money, and ultimately bringing you a happier, wealthier life. So we are truly overwhelmed. We speak every day, Paul and I. We're truly overwhelmed by how you guys have got on board with these lives, and it is absolutely wonderful. And if you could just do us those massive favors, sharing these lives, there's a share button just at the bottom of the screen here. Share it to Facebook groups. Hit that thumbs up button. It does the world of good for the videos. After the fact, sharing these lives after they're not live anymore to a wider audience, so they can come along and join in on these lives too. Paul, my mate, as always, it's always a pleasure and an honor to have you with me while we do these lives. And I've said it a million times, this collaboration, it feels pretty special. So
yes, mate.
It's a big thank you to you, my friend.
Mate, same. I mean, we're on the same journey. You're further ahead than me on this YouTube journey, but yeah, man, we've got some great stuff coming, and like James said, some news coming in, hopefully in a few weeks, that we'll be able to share with you all. Things are looking quite exciting.
100%. Now, until next time, guys, I shall see you on Sunday for another episode of The Life of Hair. I think I've got a sneaky haircut up my sleeve on Sunday, one that is very right now in terms of fashion forward haircuts. So hopefully you'll join me for that one. Paul, what's happening in the Paul world of hair this week?
So I did, I think it's the same as last week. I did an interview. It's a 6-part episode interview. Today, a video went live, and it was how I opened my salons, but also when's the right time to close them, because I've closed them and relocated. So that's that. And then I've got my, Sunday video is how to become a platform artist. So if you're looking to want to become platform artist, educator, I delve into everything that I had to go through to become one. So that is what it is. And then I'm going to bring back some how-to videos in about 4 weeks' time.
Super stuff. Joel Campbell says there, why do I always miss these? Don't forget to hit the notification bell, Joe, on both of our channels. And then if you put all notifications, YouTube will notify you not only when we go live, but when we put up the scheduled event. So you will be able to hit the reminder, set the reminder button. And also don't forget to leave a little reminder in your phone, set alarm, 9 p.m. Wednesday night, BST, James and Paul. See you then. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.